Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are right now. And welcome to another session of Bizarre Financing, live webinar training and support. I'm Gordon Bizarre, and today I'm going to take you on a little journey from essentials to gold, exploring the path from training to results. We have put a tremendous amount of time and energy and expertise into bringing our Bizarre Financing program to that place where it is perfect and right for whatever our members are looking to accomplish based on their experience, their capabilities, and their goals, and to coming up with an array of programs that are each designed to take you to a next level, whatever that next level is for you, but more importantly, to deliver you into that business of your own with the deal closed, financed, and you in the driver's seat. So what I'm going to take you on today is that path so that you can see what it is that we have, what it is that is available to you, and how it is that we can move you forward towards your goals. Simple enough, today is about our advanced programs and what they achieve and how you can tap into them to achieve the goals that you have, in fact, the dream that you have of being in that successful business of your own. My personal goal today is to inspire and motivate our Essentials members to progress to higher levels, and specifically to that place where you get the results. Our program is not about information. It's about getting you results. The results is you in the driver's seat and ownership of your own successful business. To help get you there, we've evolved through several different levels of training and support and even done for you. And I'm going to take you through those today because this is the journey that we're on together. And for some of you, it'll be a 3 to 6 month journey. For others of you, it'll be a 3 to 6 year journey. That's going to be up to you because we have the tools here to do it as quickly and as fast as you want to do it and to which you're willing to commit. All right. We start with essentials, which is very simply a foundation of business acquisition basics. Everything you need to know to do a basic leverage buyout is contained in essentials. There are additional techniques in there so you can start to see the nuances that can be applied and the imagination and creativity that when they're applied can take you through creative ways of getting your business financed. But it's a limited program in the sense that we can't teach you everything in essentials. It's still meant to be that basic program that gets you familiar with everything, comfortable with everything, and understanding whether or not this is something you really want to do and whether you have the mental stuff. But it's the get acquainted, understand it, and in many cases, get it done program, but it's designed around the basics. The next is Pro, and that's an advanced deal structuring and strategies program. There, we take you through every possible conceivable way that we've run into in the last 50 years of working with this program through tens and tens and tens of thousands of entrepreneurs, bringing many deals, of course, to fruition and applying these incredible techniques that have evolved over all these years. There is no place on this planet that you can get the full level of understanding and insights into the merger and acquisition field and the creative ways that there are to put deals together and get them financed as you can in our Pro program. And I don't care if you go to Wharton School of Finance or Princeton. I don't care if you go to Harvard. I don't care what school you go to. You will never find the full range of information, knowledge, and expertise that you'll find here. And we even layer on a level of support so that not only through our live webinars like we do in Essentials and like you're experiencing here, but where we actually have an advisor line that you call us, you tell us what your challenge is, or you send us an email, you tell us what the challenge is, and we'll walk you through the solution. It's just a beautiful support program around tremendous information. And then now we've taken it another level. In fact, you'll see it. We've actually taken it through 2 levels through PIBA, Partners in Business Acquisition. And our first level of program is Elite Mentoring. And it's personalized coaching and expert guidance. So here we literally work with you, hands-on, guiding you, answering questions, helping you even negotiate something. We'll even jump on a phone with a lender, or we'll jump on the phone with the seller, or we'll arrange a go-to-meeting with you and the seller if that's what it takes to help you get a deal closed or get a financing arranged or answer questions with a lender who isn't quite sure how the tuple escrow technique is supposed to work, and they want to understand it better before they agree to be a participant. So we will do those kinds of things as part of that level of support. We're there hands-on to help you through everything. But then we take it to the ultimate level, which is PIBA Gold, which is a comprehensive done-for-you acquisition service. And the reason we went to this is because we have people that have been in our program years, and they haven't pulled the trigger yet. They've gotten different parts of deals done. They've taken it to different levels, but they haven't been able to close a deal. And when that happens over a period of time, there's something innate that's either in that person or they've in some kind of very specialized, unique set of circumstances that they haven't been able to get a deal closed. So this is a done-for-you acquisition where myself and a team of incredible experts that I've put together, many of whom have come out of our training from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20, and even 30 years ago, that went on to build business empires in some cases, and where they've already built 100, 200, 500 million, billion-dollar companies. And they've sold them off. They've come back to work with me and be a part of the team and the expertise and the talent that can now get deals done for you. And so that's what Pivot Gold is all about. And so whether you're at the essentials level or whether you've just decided, look, I'm going to bite the bullet here, I'm going to go for gold, we're going to get this done for you. Okay. And that's our goal. This is not an information program. It's a get into business program. It's get the results that you're looking for. And every level of what it might take to get you your result is expressed in these 4 programs that you see listed in front of you. And that's why we've termed this the Bizarre Financing Journey, Essentials to Gold, because wherever you are in this continuum here, at some point, if you don't get your deal done there, you move up to that next level. But we're committed to get you into the business because these 4 levels, one of them will absolutely get you there. Okay, moving on a little bit here. As I said, Essentials covers the basics, and we've had many, many people take our Essentials program, never take another Bizarre Financing program, and within some as early as 3 months and some as long as 3 or 4 years, having never taken more than Essentials, they got themselves into a successful business, and they were able to do it with financial leverage. And so the knowledge of how to do it's there. Not only is our course very explicit in there, it's relatively short, the course itself, but the webinar library has got hundreds of hours of every conceivable way there are to do these handful of basic techniques with also introductions to some of the more advanced techniques. So it's a very robust program, even for a basics program, and you're in it. So you have the chance to explore it yourself and know. Then we have the more advanced programs. And the whole idea of advanced programs really is to unlock larger opportunities. Even our Essentials folks, okay, we've had people do it, but the businesses that they bought were a $2 million company, a $1 million company, a $7 million company, a $5 million company, but none of them have bought 20, 50, 100, $200 million companies. But in our advanced programs, we have. And the difference is we unlock these larger opportunities because we introduce you and we use in these programs the much more sophisticated evaluation processes, financing processes, deal structuring processes, tax-related processes that help put more dollars into people's pockets in the deal after taxes so we get their cooperation and get them to work along the lines that we request. So the advanced programs unlock these larger opportunities. When you get into the mentoring level, the whole purpose of that is it increases the success rates and deal quality. We're able to keep our people out of deals that aren't as good or that may even have negative red flags that scream at us, say, do not do this deal. And then get into the ones that are better quality, that have good quality earnings, that have sustainable cash flow, that have profit margins and ratios that provide way more surplus cash than is necessary to amortize debt service. But increasing the success rates and the deal quality is a clear benefit of getting to that level of the mentoring program that we have, which is the Pivot Elite Mentoring. And then the other thing here is access to sophisticated financial leverage and deal structuring. Deal structuring is something that you can learn in a day, but you won't master it for a lifetime because it is so multifaceted, so multifunctional, so diverse in its applications and what can be done and how it can be done and the role of innovation that you take a lifetime to truly master it. And so these more advanced programs gives you that access to sophisticated financial leverage and deal structuring that literally make virtually any deal doable. You don't want to use it to do bad ones because you can leverage yourself into a problem. So you're going to want to use the sophisticated part of this for analysis to know you're getting into a great deal and then use the sophisticated deal structuring and capabilities to now get you into the program. And on the very top level of programming to the goal, we really do it all for you. And you're welcome to go along for the journey with us there at our meetings and be part of what we do and be part of the discussions at every level. But we're going to get it done for you. And if you want to be more active, we'll even support that. But we're there to get it done for you. The whole idea of access is to get access to seasoned mentors and experts so that you have on your team the guys and gals who know the rules, have used the rules to their benefit, have accomplished the objectives that you have, know the ins and outs, and they themselves have access to even higher levels of expertise when they need it. But invariably, we find that we're able with our teams to really have them self-contained. Everything is there that's needed. The idea of getting personalized coaching on search. How do you find the right business? How do you find the one that's right for you, right for the times, in the right industry, in a growth area? How do you find those businesses? Now, some of them are business brokers. Okay, well, anybody can call up a business broker or anybody can go online and search a business broker. But that's not where the best deals are going to come from. The best deals are going to come out of networking. The best deals are going to come out of businesses that you find that are off market, that you find through accountants and attorneys and other far-reaching networks that we and our people have here. And we will, of course, train you how to find them and use them as well. But that's where these deals are going to come from. They're not going to be sitting on a shelf somewhere waiting for you, just waiting for somebody to pick them up. They're out there, but you got to dig for them and you got to know where to go. But also personalized coaching in the area of evaluation. How do you know you're coming up with the right number on this business? How do you know this is the right price? How do you know you're not overpaying? How do you know that this company has enduring value? Yes, it may be worth that today, but maybe its value is headed in the wrong direction. It's in a downtrend as opposed to an uptrend. So evaluation itself is a very complex exercise. And part of that personalized coaching is to give you the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs that you need so that you eventually get to where you can do this on your own, where you've been through enough of the different directions that these evaluations take you, that you can now stand on your own and do it for yourself. Deal structuring. Everything comes down to deal structuring. If you don't structure your deal right, you're never going to get it financed. You can't, because the debt service will eat up your cash flow. So you've got to know how to structure the deal, what is flexible, what's not flexible, how you can move time and money into different places so that you have the money at the time it's needed. And you don't have to worry when money isn't available at a time that you don't need it. So how do you structure around time and the availability of funds and make it attractive to the various people that are part of the deal so that at the end of the day, everybody gets what they want. The sellers got what was important to them. The lenders get what were important to them. The investors get what was important to them. You got what was important to you. But what you gave up were things that didn't matter to you. And there are many parts of the business transaction that don't matter to you. And I'll give you just one really quickly. I'll give away 49% of a company if I can get the other 51% of the company. What do I care that I gave up 49%? I own control. I'm going to have that business to run. I'm going to have it paying me the funds that I wanted paying me because I'm in the driver's seat. And I've leveraged other people, their money, their time, their effort, their resources, and I gave them paper that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything. And if I built a successful company, even if I take it IPO, yeah, maybe I could have had another 10 or 15% that I gave away. But what does it matter? I built a bigger, better company that IPO'd at a number that made me incredibly wealthy, and all of what I gave away for that other 49% in paper, even when it becomes cash in an IPO, I didn't lose anything. I made more because of what I did. That's deal structure. Okay, that's an outgrowth of deal structure, knowing what you can give away and knowing what's important. And then there's negotiation, financing, and closing. All of these things are things you have to master at some point if you're going to do this on your own. And the personalized coaching takes you through every step, works with you, lets you do it, giving you guidance. And then when things don't work out right, helps you evaluate what went wrong. How do you fix it? How do you do it different next time? How do you go back and make it right this time? All of those things are done through personal coaching, where you evolve as a true expert yourself, having now done this for yourself, and especially when you've done it a few times. We're going to want you back in our program, but now on the side that our team is on, helping other people come along because you will have experienced it all. And then there's this thing called real world application, all part of mentoring, transitioning from learning to executing. Remember, training for buying a business is not an educational exercise. Yes, there's education in it, but that's just the knowledge piece. There's that's knowledge, but there's know-how, which is expertise in getting it done. And that's a big difference. And so the whole idea of the mentoring program is taking somebody who has done this before, working hands-on to get it done for yourself so that you become the expert in how to do it for yourself on into the future. And that's the beauty of Partners in Business Acquisition, Elite Mentoring. Now there's Pivot Gold, which is the ultimate done-for-you service. And there we've brought together an expert team of people. And we have not just one team, we have several teams because our volume of Pivot Gold applications has soared in recent months. This program has become extraordinarily popular. In fact, we have a waiting list now of people to come into the program because we don't want to reduce its quality. So it means that we have to build out our team capabilities before we can take on more people, or we have to complete a transaction for people who are already in the program so that their participation is now completed. So that's the way that we have to do it for right now. And we are doing both. So hopefully that waiting list will not be there for long, or at least it won't be long. But the idea of having an expert team handle for you all of the acquisition steps, where our focus is on removing risk and securing high profit and high cash flow companies. So we're totally focused on that as our end result in an industry and area of that industry that is the type of business that you want to own. In fact, at the very beginning of the Pivot Goal process, the only place that we have to have your participation, every place else is voluntary on your part, but the place we have to have your participation is in setting the criteria. What industry is it going to be in? What are the geographical restrictions? What size company is it going to be? How much profit is this company going to have? How much cash flow is it going to have? What type of culture are you interested in that company? Now, we can expand or contract that criteria as much as you want. We suggest that you keep it to the very things that I've mentioned. In fact, maybe even eliminate the culture of the company. And the reason for this, by the way, is because the broader you make the criteria, the more we have to hit in order to find that perfect company for you. Then you limit the number of companies that will be available, and you lengthen the time that it will take us to find that company. So we like to keep these criteria as limited as possible, only hitting the real essential elements of size and profitability and industry. And anything we go beyond that is going to just slow us down, but we'll do it if that's what it takes in order for you to know that we're going to find the company that you're going to want to own. And then our whole approach is results driven. And it's driven for rapid scaling, employing advanced business models such as strategic aggregation. When we buy a company using Pivot Gold and we're responsible for putting it together, we will first strategize with you. How is value going to be added to this company after it's purchased? And that's critical because if you don't add value after the purchase, then all of your income, all of your cash flow is most likely going to be consumed by debt service. And the amounts you're going to have for yourself is going to be very limited. In fact, we've had, and I say unfortunately, we've had Pivot Gold members who would go through an analysis of a company with us. They might be looking at a $12 or $15 million company. And when they were all done, they looked at the cash flow and there was only going to be $200,000 or $250,000 of surplus cash flow after the deal closed, surplus above and beyond the payment of debt service that was for them. Okay. And even out of the close, we only were able to get $50,000 or $60,000 of surplus cash out of the close. When you went through the whole deal structure, that was it. Well, their complaint was, I can't live on that. That's not why I'm doing this. I want to make $500,000 a year. I want to make $1 million a year. Well, you can, but to do that, at least at the lower level of our tier one, which is $10 to $20 million sales companies, then you got to add value to that company. There's got to be something you're going to do with that company that overnight will add value. And strategic aggregation is a tool that we can use to literally do that. And again, I don't have time to get into the strategic aggregation side of it today, but I believe, and I'm pretty sure it's true of Essentials, I know it's true of Pro, that if you go into the webinar library, there will be a number of illustrations where we did webinars on strategic aggregation, showed how it worked, what are the elements of it, how to put it together, how it's deployed, how it produces extra cash flow, and how it takes a company and makes it worth as much as 50% more, 100% more, 200 to 300% more, at least over time. In other words, a year or two from now or 3 from now, it'll be worth at least several times what we paid for it. But even in the first several months, if the strategic aggregation is applied properly, you'll start to see where there's much more cash flow now coming out of that company to support you and your lifestyle dreams. So anyway, the ultimate done for you service, all you have to do is be part of the front end, approve the criteria, and then if you want to be involved, you can, but after that, our team handles everything. including getting it financed and closed. Now, a lot of times people ask me, well, what are your success stories? And do you have testimonials of people who have been through the program? And the answer is yes, we do. We have, with everybody that we work with, we of course have a non-disclosure agreement. So we can't use people's names. We can't use names of companies, but we can show you the actual companies and what they were. We change the names or don't give the names as a matter of protecting that confidentiality. We may adjust the number slightly so that it's not recognizable with respect to the actual company that it happened with, but they're close, and they're close enough that they're representative of what actually happened. So again, if you go into our webinar library and even into some of the areas of the course itself, you're going to see tremendous numbers of case studies after case study after case study after case study. And all of them come out of our experience with acquisitions that we're part of any one of these programs, whether it was pro, because we get involved in them there too. It's just usually through the advisor line, or we're involved with them through the mentoring program, hands-on or specific to that company, or in Pivot Gold, we get it done. All of these people that you will see in all of those case studies, and I mean, we're in the hundreds of case studies in our program. So the materials are there. You can study them, see them. The one thing that you will notice is that they're achieved by people of very diverse backgrounds, people who have been just the truck driver. One of our truck company purchases was a fellow who was a dispatcher for one of the companies. But it goes through people who basically had blue collar labor type jobs, people who had executive jobs, people who had middle management jobs, people who were middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class. I mean, they come out of virtually every sector of our economy and culture. And there isn't anyone that can't get these deals done. It's a matter of learning. It's a matter of mentoring. It's a matter of, if we have to, there is a program where now it can get done for you. Now, all of our advanced program are designed to unleash the power of financial leverage. That's what this is all about. You know, if you have a lever, you can move things that are very big, right? You can jar loose things that are very tight and strong, because a lever, the simple lever that people use to break into a door, okay, applies a lot of power to a very small point for a very limited power that you push on from a distance. All right. So everybody understands what leverage is, but there's more than one kind of leverage. And everything we do here is about leverage. And specifically, our advanced programs are all about leveraging OPM, other people's money. So to acquire a large profitable business, you need to use OPM. You don't have enough money to buy a big company. And if you had enough money to buy a big company, you probably don't have enough money to buy a bigger company. So no matter what company you'd ever be trying to buy, you will not have enough money in your bank account to go buy it. And it doesn't matter how rich you get, because the companies keep getting bigger and you will never have enough money in your bank account to just go buy the company. Now, someday your company might grow into an IBM or a General Motors or some large company like a Microsoft, whatever your company grows into. And yes, those companies have money in the bank that if they like a company, they can plunk down the cash and go buy it. But now you're talking about 1/1000th of 1% of the companies on the planet. Okay. You will unlikely not be there. You are going to have to build your empire and acquire companies, always needing more money than you have in the bank. And leveraging other people's money is an essential part of this. You can go to big leverage buyout firms, Kravitz, you know, the big LBO company that bought Nabisco. Okay. When they bought Nabisco, they didn't have the money in the bank. Right? They put together capital from various sources. They made deals with the capital to get them to take that part of the acquisition. I don't care how big you ever get, you're going to be leveraging OPM for the rest of the time. And this whole advanced program is built on making you an expert in that, or tying you in with our team who are expert in this. Creative financing, strategies used in advanced programs. You will find that our advanced programs, I mentioned this earlier, so I won't dwell on it now. There isn't any place on planet Earth that you can get the diversity, the innovation that you will find in our materials, in both our webinars and our basic courses, and in our mentoring. You will not have access to anything like that anywhere else ever. And I don't care which guru you go to out there. They all come here. Everybody that's been to every guru you know out there eventually ends up at Bazaar Financing, because this is the place where they get the stuff actually done. And we get people in our Pivot Gold program now who have spent tens of thousands, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars, with other big name people in the business acquisition merger training fields, and who do this, and they come up and they end up here because at the end of the day, they couldn't get their deals done and they get them done here. Why? Because here's where we've applied these techniques and we don't teach what we don't use. We teach and we use what has worked in the past over 50 years of applying these strategies. And then there's another area of leveraging, which I call O, P, T, T, and R. It sounds like alphabet soup, but it's other people's time, talent, and resources, which goes beyond money. In effect, what we'll be doing in order to achieve your results is building teams of highly capable people with vast networks and extended reach in order to accomplish this. And everybody that's in our deal, no matter where they came from, no matter what role they're playing, they will be winners, because every one of our deals is structured so that everybody wins, whether it's suppliers, customers, investors, lenders, owners, sellers, our partners, everybody wins. And that's why our deals work, because we're value-added business buyers. We know when we buy that business, and we'll work with you if it's in one of our, other than the gold program, whether it's mentoring, we will work with you. So you understand this value-added concept, that you're able to bring those added values that make this not a zero-sum deals. The reason deals don't work out there is they're zero-sum deals. So in order for me to win, somebody else has to lose. And when I take something away from them, they kill the deal. They make it so the deal can't succeed because they're not winning. But when I add value so that now there's a bigger pie, so that now there's more to share, then I can make deals where everybody wins and everyone supports the outcome. Everyone supports the deal because they're all going to win. And that's what we train people here to do. That's what we mentor people here to do. And when we are the doer in the Pivot Gold, that's how we get the deals done. And every one of those elements, you'll see them in all of our structures, how we add value. Now, what I want to do is to invite you as Essentials members to start upgrading within our programs and to start it today. Life is too short. You can get a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3, 5 years down the line, and all of a sudden you're in the same place you were 3 to 5 years ago. But you can't advance that way. You can't. At some point, you got to bite a bullet. You got to say, I'm going to commit to doing this. I'm going to commit to getting into that business that I want. I want that security for my family. I want that prestige that comes with the ownership of the business. I want the power that comes with the ownership of the business. I want freedom from anyone and everything that I can have if my business is properly structured. So that's all sitting out there. And if it's in front of you, you got to get it behind you. You have to do it. And you have to look at time as your enemy, because if you don't do it, the time has gone by and eventually you get to the place where you can't do it because there isn't enough time to do it. If you have 5 years, you can get this done. If you only got 3 years left, it's going to be really hard. And if you're trying to get it done overnight, it can't happen. So remember, it is a journey and you've got to have time to take the journey. You've got to be at certain places in time in order for you to complete the journey. And you have to start putting your arms around that in order to make it happen. So what I'm going to share with you here is how to explore our advanced programs. Because as soon as possible, if you haven't made it within the program you're in, so right now you're in Essentials, and if you've been there a year or 2 or 3 and just haven't been able to cross the Rubicon here, well, you got to get the Pro, because Pro will take you a whole new set of places that Essentials didn't. You may want to skip Pro and go right on to Elite Mentoring or Pivot Gold. But the point is, I want to show you where our programs are on our website and how you can learn everything you need to know about them, what they are, how they work, what's included, what's not included, what they cost, how it is that they can be paid for. All of that is in our website. And I want to just make sure that you know it's there. So if you're going to explore advanced programs, Pro is explorable with this link, but I'm going to show you exactly where it is and exactly where to find it. I'm going to do it first by clicking on the link. And it's going to take us to the Bazaar Financing website, specifically this page. And basically it explains Pro. Now, if you don't have the link in front of you, you can get there by going to what we do, going to training, going to Pro. Okay. And if you clicked on that, you would end up on this page. Okay. So it's what we do, training, Bazaar Financing Pro, click on it and you end up on this page. And what this page will show you is what you get in Bazaar Financing Pro, what our bonuses are, and a form on which to enroll. And that will give you costs and price and anything it is you want to know. And of course, we're always here. You can call us at 805-497-1000, and we're always happy to answer your questions. But what you need to know is basically right here. And then the next step here is any of our partners in business acquisition programs, Pivot. So there are 2. There's Elite Mentoring, which remember is mentoring program, and there's Gold, which is a done for you program. And I'm going to click on this link here, and this takes you to the page that is partners in business acquisition. The way you would get here when you're on the site is you go to what we do, training, partners in business acquisition. You click on that, you end up at this page. And this page will explain in excruciating detail everything you'll ever need to know about the two pivot programs, Elite Mentoring and Gold. And it goes through what the opportunities are. It goes through the benefits of each of them. We do have qualifications because we can't take our time to just do this for anybody. We need to know you're serious. We need to know that you have a basic inclination and aptitude for being in a business of your own. So there's a little bit of questions that we'll be asking you just to get clear of that. Okay. And then there's the application process, and then there's the current costs. Now, sometimes people look at this and they say, well, wait a minute. I want to buy a $20 million business. I want it to have a $3 million EBITDA, and your commitment fee is $150,000. And the answer is yes, it is. All right. So the question is, well, oh gosh, that's a mountain of money. How do I get that kind of money? If you're going to go into any business, do you think there's any business that without a program like this, that you're going to get into a successful business for less than $150,000? It's not going to happen. Now, what we're going to do is make that $150,000 easier for you to come up with. But you can't get into a business for less than that, because the nature of a business itself is there's value there. That value doesn't just fall out of the sky. It either has to be earned there or it has to be placed there on some exchange basis. Nobody's just going to turn over a business worth $10 million to you for free. It's not going to happen. Okay, but you can get a $10 million business for $150,000. So now the question is, how do you get $150,000? I'd rather have to come up with $150,000 than $4, $5, $6 million to get a $10 million business. That's a much better deal. All right. Now you'll notice that there's two ways that we work on these businesses. So one is through the mentorship and support side, and you'll notice that there's a significant difference between the two on the commitment fee side. But I will tell you, in the long run, this is the better deal. And it's the better deal because not only do we do it for you, but if you go to buy a business that's a $20 million business, and I'm only taking the low ones here, okay? These are the expenses you're going to have that are going to be out of pocket before you close your deal, okay? You're going to have appraisers like on the real estate or on the equipment or on the inventory. You're going to have CPAs that you got to pay that are going to charge you either for audits or reviews or a quality of earnings report that the lenders are going to want or the investors may want to see before they risk their money. You're going to have attorneys that you have to pay to draw up agreements, whether it's your letter of intent or your purchase agreement or the review of the lender's finance agreements or the review or drafting of the deal that you're making with your investors, so that you have to have an agreement with them. You have various regulatory issues if you're raising the money that you're going to have to overcome. There are going to be legal issues surrounding all of that. Then you may be taking a site visit. So you're going to have to get on a plane and you're going to have to go someplace and you're going to have to sit with that seller and have hotel expenses and airfare and a whole bunch of other things that are going to go with that. You've got other due diligence costs that may involve researchers or investigators. You're going to have finance fees where the lender up front wants to charge you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 because that's the way that they are willing to take time and incur the due diligence cost of checking out your deal. So they make you pay for it up front. And that doesn't mean they're going to give you the loan. All right. They may not give you the loan and that $10,000 is gone. Now you go to do the next deal. You're already out $10,000 from looking at the last deal. Then there's closing costs, escrow fees, courier expenses, charges, various miscellaneous charges. So depending on the size of the business, historically, these are the kinds of dollars that are out the door before you close your deal. Now, we have a lot of relationships out there. We get a little bit of these things done where we push their payments substantially to the back end. So we work with these in many ways to reduce these costs, but this is what the typical out-of-pockets are. So the reason that I say our gold deal is actually a better deal than the mentoring deal is not only do we do it for you, but we pay all these expenses. We pay them all. You pay the commitment fee and you're done. You're done. You have a fixed cost for getting into your company. And if we went through all of this and at the end of the day, the deal didn't close, we start all over again with a new company. We're out of pocket this money. And until we close a deal, we have no way to get this money back. And if we close a deal and out of the deal we finally close, there isn't enough surplus cash there for us to get the new money that we spent on that deal and the money that we spent here, we're out the money. Okay, you didn't lose that money, we did. Okay, that's how confident we are that we know what we're doing and we can handle this stuff to keep these expenses minimized. But I know people that have gone through 2 and 3 and 4 attempts to buy a company. They got various amounts of these expenses paid for in each company they went after, and they're out tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they don't have a company. You make that go away with Pivot Gold. You have a fixed cost. You're going to get in that business. And if it takes us 2 or 3 years to get that company for you, that's just what it takes. And if we're out of pocket the money, that's on us, not on you. So it's a heck of a program. There's nothing like it in the industry anywhere. And it's all explained it here, both the elite mentoring and then an application to download here. So with all that, you have the ability to get into any of these programs. And I'm not done yet. I got some more actually good news for you. Okay. I want to talk to you about the steps to join our advanced programs and how you can start upgrading today. First of all, you need to make it a priority. If you don't make it a priority, it's just going to be year after year passing and it just won't happen. You have to allocate income and savings to do these small, relatively small front-end costs that it takes. So it's $10,000 for pro. To some people, that might sound like a lot of money. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, it is, right? But if you're doing better than paycheck to paycheck, then it's not. Your chances are you can get your hands on $10,000. But even if you can, I'm going to show you in a moment where you can get it. And here's the moment, okay? You need to commit yourself to start raising the money it's going to take you to do this. And we did a webinar that's available to you in Essentials. And it's Essentials webinar from the 26th of December, 2018. It's in your library. So the way you get to this is you go to training, you go to Essentials, you go to Essentials webinar library, you click on that, and then you scroll down to December 18th, 2018. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to get all the way down there because that takes time. Okay, it's got a lot of webinars, so I got to do a lot of scrolling here. September 2020, 2018. There it is. Show me the money. December 26th. You click on that, and it takes you to that webinar. And what that does is it goes through 35 expanded techniques for raising the money you're going to need to buy the business, no matter what your approach is. These are the sources. These are how you can put together the money to get yourself into these programs and accomplish your objectives. And another way that people are doing it is they're partnering with family members, with friends, with associates, so that together they're coming up with the money and they'll be partners in the acquisition of the business. So that way you have people who you've expanded your talent pool, you've expanded your available funds pool, you've expanded everything you need to really take that next big step at getting yourself into business. So I'll take a few minutes now and I will take any questions that you have. And I see a question. That's good. All right. First question. Please put the link in the chat. Okay. Hi, Gordon. Super webinar. Please explain what HOT, PTT, and R stands for. Okay. It's other people's time, talent, and resources. Okay. Remember, people have everything you want. Whatever it is you would want, somebody out there already has it. And it's the law of human exchange. They will give it to you if you give them what they want. So the whole idea of deal structure is looking at all of the aspects of a business. It's income, it's cash flow, it's equity, it's all of the pieces that, remember I sell, 49% of the equity is paper. Okay. And it won't cost you anything. You can live without that 49% and build a huge business. If for that 49%, you got other people's time, talent, resources, and capital. If you got all that stuff, you've given away paper and you've got hard assets, real resources in your business that gets you to where you want to go. So the point here is that other people's time, talent, and resources, they all have networks. You motivate them enough and you give them enough wins to spread around to people they know, you're going to pull into your orbit all of the people you need to talk to in order to get these things done. And we have strategy after strategy after strategy in our materials. It's there. How do we execute this stuff? Okay, Pivot Goal link, please. Let me finish up the webinar and I will put it into the chat box. Oh, I see a hand raised. Okay. Ronald, I've opened up your microphone, but you're on self-mute. But if you unmute it, we can talk. All right, another hand up here. Let me see. Demond. Okay, you're on.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you are.
All right. Thank you. So yeah, I appreciate again, you doing these and hosting these and a great lot of information. My question was, with the mentoring part of it, basically that's just you or some individuals guiding us through the process, but primarily we're pretty much doing things kind of on our own, but we kind of get to tap into you and probably, get some, or at least get some advice or some know-how into maybe.
It's more than that. Okay. First of all, a lot of it will be with me, but yes, I do have a team and there'll be times when there'll be better people on my team to do it than me because they're the hands-on people that do it every day. So they'll have a better feel, frankly, of the hands-on challenges and how they're overcoming them because we don't have academics in our program. Everybody that is here is here because they've completed it, done it not just once or twice, but at least 3 or 4 times. And they've done it, for themselves so that they're already pre-qualified, that they know how to do it, and that they're good communicators and they can explain it. So we have a pretty interesting criteria here for anybody we have on our teams. But nothing gets put to the side. If somebody can't answer a question or they feel, well, hey, let's see what Gordon has to say about this. I end up talking and being part of that hands-on. And I'm happy to do it. I love doing it because it keeps me close to our members. It keeps me close to the marketplace. And it means that my information is never going to get stale because I'm in it every day. So that's part of what's really important to me. But the answer is that whatever the challenge is, okay, we're going to literally take you by the hand step by step. So the first problem is search, right? You got to find a company. So we have people here that are specialists in search, and they will advise you. How do you find the company that's within the criteria? They'll introduce this to the sources of those particular things. When it comes to the other end, and you're now down to financing, well, what type of financing is it going to take to get your deal done? Who are the lenders out there that do that? Who are investors that we know of that are open to investments in this particular industry, in this particular geographical area? Because we keep records of that stuff, and so that when we are confronted with it, we know where those resources are. So we'll be very hands-on. It's not just advice. We're going to guide you. I mean, literally guide you through the process. And if you're of the mindset, well, look, I don't need that much help. I just want to make sure you're there to answer each and every question that I may have for you. Well, then we'll reduce our participation, if you will, down to that level. We'll mirror what you need from us. The only thing we won't do is do it for you. Okay. That it crosses the bridge into the goal. We're there. We do everything. Okay. We'll get the financing. We'll find the company. We'll negotiate the deal. We'll structure the deal, whatever it takes. That's what we do. Okay. So those are the extent of the program. Does that help, Damon?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And yeah, I appreciate you, of course, going through the steps of, certain levels of the pivot goal, the elite mentoring, and then, the pro, and then the essential. So again, I showed that our goal is to get to the next, it's like steps, get to the next level, whatever level that can be beneficial to us. So I appreciate you again taking the time to answer my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Damon. I really appreciate your questions. All right, Ronald, did we get you back?
Hey, yes. Can you hear me okay?
I can. How are you?
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm doing well. This is Renell, but this is Nelly. We've spoken before.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, my question is a little off topic. It's about finance.
Sure.
My question is when buying a business with conventional debt or SBA debt, how do you take over an existing loan without qualifying the assumption with the lender in their qualification?
Okay. Well, the chances are that a lender is, with a new owner, that a lender is not going to let somebody else take over the loan unless they've pre-qualified them. Okay. But there are many ways that you can get yourself pre-qualified, because the new lender doesn't care if you're the buyer, really doesn't care about you as a person. All they care about is that somebody who's identified with ownership is qualified for that loan. The reason I don't like SBA loans is they want personal guarantees, and I structure everything without having to do personal guarantees. I just don't like them. All right. They'll want to qualify you, but that doesn't mean that you have to be the one that's qualified. So if the question comes down to there needs to be a qualified person so that the loan can be assumed under the new entity, then it means you need a partner. Okay. You need a partner that will assume that function. So back in the day when I did a lot of hands-on work with people who didn't have the wherewithal themselves to qualify, we would structure the loan so it was clear that the loan was risk mitigated, meaning that there was value added, that we could project the cash flows, that we knew where all the dollars were coming from, and we could demonstrate to an investor that there was a tremendous amount of cash flow that was behind this loan, and that the cash flow was sound enough, it was relatively stable, and was going to be there to get the deal done. All right, now with that, we would give that investor a piece of the company, 10%, 5%, 18%, whatever the magic number was, if they would be the guarantor on the loan, or if we could use their balance sheet to justify our credit on the loan that was being assumed. So now they don't have to come up with any cash. They get a piece of paper that says they're an owner. They'll eventually turn that into value. We'll have an exit strategy for them. But in the meantime, for a piece of paper, we got that problem solved, right? And we still own 51% or more of the company. We still have control. We're still going to do with it what we need to do. But we passed that responsibility off to an investor who, without having to come up with money, what's the return on their investment? Well, it's pretty high. They didn't come up with any cash. They came up with a balance sheet or a personal guarantee. And yes, they have some risk exposure, but we've presented it to them in a way where we show them how it's risk mitigated, how the company is sound, the cash flows are sound, the growth that we're going to show, here's how it's achieved, and here's why it's reliable. So we've done all that, and that's how it's done.
I think what I'm asking, Gordon, is is there a way to leave the debt actually in the seller's name, right? Leave the debt in their name, and any equity that's in the actual that's in the business itself, we can structure however that equity is paid back to purchase the business.
Okay, I don't know many sellers that would do that. Okay, I mean, it's a
Okay.
practical matter. The reason they're selling is they want to depart from the business. And by the way, we don't buy businesses in today's world, but and especially the size businesses that we're buying, where the seller doesn't stay
Mm.
around for at least 3 and as much as 5 to 7 years afterwards. The very best outcomes that we've had with businesses that have been acquired is where the seller stays on and runs it, because they are the most valuable asset of that business. They know it inside and out. They're the ones whose ingenuity built it. They have relationships with the suppliers and the customers. None of that stuff are you going to replace easily. And so we like to have them stay on and do it. And if we can't find sellers willing to stay on, even if in good companies today, we pass on them because we don't want to be in the management business. We want a company that the management is already there, proven in place, and where the agreement with the seller is they'll be there for the 3 to 5 to 7 years. And during their last 2 years at the company, they'll have the responsibility of grooming their replacement. So they have to find the replacement, groom them for a year or two so that they clearly understand and can run the business and have the last few months without the hands-on of the seller, so we can actually watch them run the business while the seller's still there to correct any issues. And that way we've had the least amount of headaches with any business we've ever bought. What you really want to know is there a way to finesse that loan? Because somebody is going to have to replace that loan. The seller's got to come off of it and the buyer's got to come on it. But how do you do that when you may not have a strong financial statement, or even the business you're going to have is a strong enough financial statement, or whatever the issue is? We have several different, very powerful ways around that. And they're all discussed, by the way, in Pro. They're all there. So hopefully
Okay.
that's helpful.
No. Okay. That was helpful. Thank you, Gordon.
You're welcome. Thank you, by the way, for these questions. I really appreciate them. I don't see any more hands up. I don't see any more questions. So let me move on to one more thing here. I got one more page I want to cover. Next steps, what to expect and how to get started. I don't know how to say this to anybody who's looking how to get rich quick, because that's not what we do here. And my experience is nothing worthwhile in life is easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be wealthy. Everybody, it would be no non-wealthy people. So in order to create wealth, especially in a business, it's not easy. There's a learning process. There's an experiential process. There's a resourcing process where you have to gather resources in order to make it happen. There's several different balls that you're going to have to be juggling at one time. So I want to expunge from everybody's thoughts that this is going to be easy. It's not, but it will be worthwhile. That's the good news. And it is doable, which is the other part of it. And so the first advice that I would give anybody who wants to achieve that ultimate ownership of the business is to sit back in a chair, relax, turn out the lights, close your eyes, and then focus on your perfect end result. What do you want this business to be? What industry do you want it to be? And what size do you want it to be when it's mature, when it's finally where you want it to be? What does your staff look like? What does your product look like? Or your service look like? What does your production facility or your work area look like for your service business or your manufacturing company? In other words, get to the point where you can picture that perfect end result. You can feel it. You can taste it. You can smell it. You can hold it. You can truly experience yourself running it. All right. When you do that, you are sending incredibly powerful messages to your subconscious mind, which your subconscious mind has no clue what can't be done. Has no clue, because in your subconscious mind, anything can be done. And it will start harmonizing with the forces of the world to bring to your attention and bring to your awareness and bring to your ability to handle anything and everything it's going to take to produce that. And you will see it happening. You will wonder, where did this opportunity come from? How did I find this? How did I see that? How did I overcome this? And you'll be saying there, how did I do that? It'll be your subconscious working on that with you, supporting that now conscious vision that you have of your company. I know it sounds a little crazy, guys, but you got to go with me on this. It's the power behind what I've done for myself. So I'm very confident in what I'm saying to you. Then the next part of the process, once you've gotten that mindset and the visual image, is make a plan and set goals. You got to do that. You got to make a plan and set goals. You may modify the plan. You may modify the goals. But right now, if you aim at nothing, you're going to hit nothing. Okay? You're always going to hit what you aim for. So you got to aim for something. And you got to make a plan and set goals on how do you get there. Short-term goals, we're going to do this month. We're going to do this in 6 months. We're going to be here in a year. We're going to be here in 2 years. And by the end of 10 years, this is what we're going to have. And I'm going to exit with $100 million or whatever your goal is. And you got to have that sense of what your plan is going to look like. And a lot of times people ask me, well, I've never done a plan like that before. I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know what to do. Well, we live in a unique world today. Okay. It's not the world of 2 years ago, 5 or 10, 20 years ago. This is a new world. You've got artificial intelligence standing at the ready to help you through anything. All right. And think of ChatGPT as literally 10 PhDs. Okay. 10 PhDs who have their electronic tentacles into all of the knowledge on planet Earth. Okay. And they'll answer from that knowledge base with this incredible intelligence that's been built into them. At the level of a PhD, they'll help you with anything you ask. So your problem is not your problem. Your problem is how do you formulate your question to target ChatGPT to giving you the right answer. So your problem is not the problem solving. Your problem is the question asking. So you're going to tailor your questions to ChatGPT. You're going to say to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can't operate in a vacuum. So you're going to say to ChatGPT something like, I'm 41 years old. Okay, I have experience in blank, blank, and blank. I want to go into a business in the field of X. All right, I want it to acquire a company. I want it to be a $10 million company when I acquire it. I want to be able to grow it at the rate of such and such per year. I need a business plan to go do that. Write me a business plan. All right. Now, as good as your question was, that's how good your answer is going to be, because ChatGPT will do whatever you ask it to do. So it'll come back with a business plan. And you tell it, I want you to give me a plan. I want you to set goals and timelines to get this done within 10 years. All right. Now it comes back and you've got this wonderful little sheet of paper in front of you, which is not paper. It's on your screen. And you're reading it and you're saying, well, this makes sense. This makes sense. Well, this thing doesn't make any sense. I can't imagine what this is all about, or I don't understand what this is. So now piece by piece, you go back and you say to ChatGPT, I like your plan, but when I read this, and then you say what part it was, I didn't understand it. And I didn't understand how it interacted with the other part of the plan where you said this. Whatever your question is, because of your reading the plan, you go back and ask ChatGPT to fix it. All right. So then it'll rewrite the plan with that fixed and explained and whatever it is. And then there'll be parts where it didn't explain it well enough. So you'll say, ChatGPT, drill down on this point to where it's step by step how to do it. It'll drill down step by step how to do that. All right. By the time you're finished, and if you're patient enough to construct your questions and to take your questions and target anything it is that you need better explained or explain more step by step or whatever it is you need, ChatGPT will give you incredible answers to what it is that you're trying to do. And so if you've never done a plan before and you've never had to set goals like this before and you've never had to do any of this before, you start with the question of that poses to them who you are, what your capabilities are, what you want to do. Okay. And as complete as you can make it. If you can make it a paragraph with 1,000 words or 2,000 words, ChatGPT doesn't care how long you do it. It's as long as it is, it's fine with them. All right. And it will take all of that and it will compound the plan for exactly where it is that you've told it you want to go, given who you are and what your resources and capabilities are. And then it's up to you to then interact with ChatGPT to modify it to where it is. Now, the beauty of ChatGPT is that it is, and it's only in the last 6 months that they've done this, it will go into any of the past information you've put in or questions that you've asked, and it will use that as its memory for anything else that you ask it to do. So once you start building your business plan, once you start building your model, that information stays in there. All right. So ChatGPT now knows what the plan is. So you can go back a day later, 2 days later, a week later to pull it up again. And I have my own account with them. It costs me $20 a month. I think even in the free accounts, it still does this. But you'll have the ability to go into a specific question you asked before, or just ask it a new question. But your new question draws on everything else you've asked and it's answered. So now when you want to go find the actual business, it already knows your plan. It already knows what you want to do. So now you can start to talk to the ChatGPT in shorthand, okay? Because it already has all that information. And eventually you'll get the idea, look, I'm talking to a PhD here who's got an impeccable memory, remembers everything we do together, and then has the ability to go out through the internet and find anything that's online, that's out there, to give me that information back to help guide me and find me solutions. You have a powerful ally. Don't overlook it. Get used to using it. You'll find that it will make you extraordinarily powerful. And it'll take information like I'm sharing with you here, and it'll blow up the value of it, a dozen times because of the way you're able to now manipulate and use that information through this great tool. So anyway, make a plan and set goals and use ChatGPT to help. Commit to the achievement of your goals. Commit to it. You've got to say, look, I'm going to do this. This is it. I'm doing it. Okay. And do not let anything or anyone stop you. You know, you're a family member and they said, John, you can't do this. You know, you've always been a failure all your life. You're never going to get this done. Well, if you let them stop you, shame on you. Okay. You are not that person. You are an incredibly competent person. And all you need to be is unleashed with the right knowledge, the right information, the right inspiration to go get this done. And that inspiration will come from you visualizing your perfect end result, seeing that plan come into being, understanding that you can do this. It's doable. You can see the steps. They're right there. They're right in front of you. They're very tangible now. They're in writing. You can do it. And once you start to feel that sense of empowerment, don't let anything get in your way or stop you. And then you got to proceed with confidence that you can do it. Okay? You got to just know it. You got to know it in your soul. You can do this. And you've got to be able to just get yourself up and out and get in momentum. You know, there's a basic law of physics, which says the body at rest stays at rest unless operated on by an outside force. Okay. A body in motion tends to stay in motion in the same direction at the same speed unless some outside force operates on it. Okay. Well, hopefully I'm the outside force operating on you. So if you're not in motion, get in motion. And then once you're in motion, your own momentum will start to carry you forward. And right now, my goal was to be a little bit of inspiration that gets you out there. All the tools that you need to do this, they're all here. Yes, there are some challenges and some hurdles, but in our materials, how to get over the hurdles. You don't have the money. Okay. Well, we did this for essentials so that you could see all the ways there are for people who don't have a surplus of funds who within a very short period of time have a surplus of funds, and how to organize people around you so that they'll want to come up with the funds to support you. You know, once you have your plan, once you know where you're going, once it's exciting and you're really turned on by, gosh, I know I can do this. This is a great place. Well, other people are going to get turned on by your goals. They're going to want to be part of what you're doing. You're going to find people say, well, how can I get in on this? You know, do you need an investor? You'll be amazed at what comes out of the woodwork, but you can't get that stuff coming out of the woodwork sitting on the couch, right? You got to be out there doing it so that people can see, oh, I want to be part of that. This is an exciting plan. I don't have a plan like this, but maybe I can be part of your plan. You're into a whole new environment, but you got to get there. And that means getting yourself into motion. So to me, that's what these things are all about. Your next move is envision your success. Envision what your success is going to look like, feel like, smell like, taste like, touch like. Visualize what you feel like sitting in and being in that place of success. And then take each next step with confidence that you're there. I want to share with you one last concept. Everybody on this call with me, true for you, okay? And that is you are the end product of literally 4 billion years of evolution of life on Earth. You are not an accident that happened yesterday. You are the product of 4 billion years of evolution, which means that there is an unbroken chain of life that produced you that goes back 4 billion years of creatures that had to survive and reproduce in order to evolve into you. And it's an unbroken chain. You are not a happy accident. And the powers that have been vested in you, the survival capabilities that have been vested in you through the very process by which you've been created are extraordinary. Let them come up inside of you. Understand who you are and what you're capable of, and start taking each step with the confidence that the good Lord or whatever force you want to attribute it to didn't bring you through 4 billion years of evolution to produce you to let you fail now. That did not happen. And it can only happen if you not only let it happen, you make that happen. Because the trend, the momentum of 4 billion years is to produce you as a success. And the minute you have that mindset, you become a different person. And what you're going to want to achieve is very doable by you. I want to thank all of you for participating here today. Thank you for being part of Bizarre Financing and sharing this part of your journey with me. And I look forward to being a part of everyone's success into the future. Until the next one of these that we do, I wish you all the best of success.